Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to a special edition of the Musings and Music Show. I see we're actually about to get one person else come and join us, so the more the merrier. But so far, I have two gentlemen and one lady here with me. You know already who it is that's talking to you. This is EGBE MBIWAN MONJIMBO coming to you on Vosaworld Radio. And this time I'm excited, I'm delighted, I'm even honored to have the panel of guests I have with me here because they have a very, very, very important subject to talk about today. I'm going to go ahead and have them introduce themselves. They can tell us who they are, they can tell us where they're coming to us from, and in a nutshell, let us know a little bit about them. I don't know that they have the same screen I have, but I'll be going clockwise, starting with the gentleman at the top left, the first to come in to join the meeting today, the person who actually is at the helm and at the crux of everything that is the light of Fako project. Sir, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Will that be me, I believe?
Okay, you go ahead and you start.
Why don't I, let Dr. MOLUA go right ahead, since he is the author and the initiator of this whole event.
That's actually who I was referring to, because I was saying it's clockwise. It's not the same thing you always see on Zoom. For me, clockwise, that is I have him to my left and at the top. Go ahead, Mula BECKE.
Thank you very much. Thank you, NYOKI. Thank you, Auntie EGBE. I am Dr. MOLUA Smith BECKE. I am speaking right now from the last frontier, Alaska. I am originally from Great Support, Boya, Fako Division. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. And we did that because he, as NYOKI already said, is the brain behind this whole project. I'll go back now to protocol and do the lady before the other two gentlemen. So who's the lady that we have with us here today?
Hello, everybody. Auntie EGBE, thank you very much for having us here and for giving us your platform, and also for always being so warm and welcoming. And hello to the gentlemen in the house and to everyone watching us and listening to us. I am WELISANE NKENG, and I am assistant to Dr. MOLUA Smith BECKE in the Light of Fako project that we'll be talking about today. Thank you.
And where are you coming to us from, though?
I'm in Yaoundé.
All the way back home.
Of Cameroon, for those of you who do not know where Yaoundé is.
Right. And then we'll go on now to the gentleman. Right, okay, that's to my left. I do not know how the person from. I'm going to jump in his parade, because I was saying everybody should say where they're coming to us from, but to differentiate, I will say the person coming to us from Minnesota. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Auntie EGBE. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, WELISANE, all the way Cameroon. We appreciate you staying up this late to join us in this program. My name is NYOKI. I reside in Minneapolis, Minnesota, land of 10,000 lakes. Trust me, everybody in Minnesota has a lake that he can name, to himself. And I am part of, Light Up Fako. Delighted to be here, honored to share my views and my experiences. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being with us. And last but not least, we have the Mula right there smiling away, coming to us from where, Mula?
Yes, thank you, my beautiful and exquisite sister from the Ocean City in Limbe, the one and only EGBE MBIWAN MONJIMBO. I am NDOKO, Edwin Daniel. I am based in Dallas, Texas. And it was a pleasure seeing you last weekend during our Suban convention. And welcome to all the panel members. Iweli from Cameroon, thank you. Dr. Smith BECKE and NYOKI, thanks for having you all on panel.
This is awesome. Look at it. If we go around there, somebody from Alaska, the place where you can see Russia from your back door.
Right.
Somebody from Minnesota where he has a lake to himself. Eweli coming to us all the way from Cameroon. Thank you so much. And NDOKO, who was here just a week ago in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I'm coming to us from Dallas. You're welcome again to the show. So you mentioned it already as we're speaking. WELISANE was one we even said in the scope of Light Up Fako. So somebody's listening to us and going, Light Up Fako, what is that? What is Light Up Fako?
Thank you, Auntie, again for once more. So Light Up Fako is an initiative that we started to install. The aim is to install affordable solar street lamps to reduce security in our street in Fako division. We started this in 2021, November precisely. I thought that it was necessary due to the inconsistent way of NEO to install solar lamps in my own village and for great support. But again, if we are doing it to reduce insecurity, and to me, if you reduce insecurity in great support, the bad guys can go to another village. So I decided to extend it not only to great support, but to other parts of Fako. Yes.
That's a fantastic idea, because as you pointed out, if you do only something only for yourself, it doesn't quite help, because
Yes.
it may shift to other places, and then the other people too who have the insecurity, it may leak too, even back into your own place, because they too are sitting down there with nothing idle, with nothing to do. So sometimes when you help not just your own self, but the surrounding areas, because in the end, it ends up helping you yourself. It's a need. You've already told us who's behind it, but I have people here with me, other people on the panel. Do they mind telling us what it is that they each do, how they're tied to the project? WELISANE had kind of mentioned it because she talked about being a vice. So what exactly is it you do in the scope of this whole Light Up Fako project?
So actually, I should say that I just stumbled into this position because sometime last year, Mola, BECKE and I met in the US, and we're just chit-chatting over lunch about what we do. We're getting introduced. And so I was asking him what he does, and then he spoke about his job and then his passion, which was a Light Up Fako project. So when he spoke about it, I was like, I'm a Fako person. I mean, I'm not from Fako, but I grew up in Fako. I'm always there. And I've never heard about this project, and I'm a journalist. I should have at least heard about it once or so. So I said to him, this is not something that you can be quiet about. So we need to make noise about it. We need to have everyone on board and to make it loud and give it the grandeur that it deserves. And so I told him that there's a couple of things that we could do, the next steps that we could take to, make it outgoing and make it bigger. And so when I got back to Cameroon, I started to do the groundwork, to visit the structures that were necessary, to visit the persons that were necessary, to do the paperwork and a lot of things. So I was just appointed, or should I say nominated, out of gratitude for maybe the contribution that I brought to the table. And so I'm assisting Mola BECKE, who is the visionary of this project, and I'm humbled to be doing that because I see potentials to the project, and I know that it is something that is noble and worthy of everyone's contribution. So that's how I sneaked myself into a Fako project. And just to say this quickly, everyone keeps asking me, what is your matter in this matter? Like, what is an NDOKO girl looking for in a Fako project? I'm like, you soon find out Fako is for everyone. Fako is like a baby, like a home for every one of us. That's giving us education, that's giving us homes, and that's giving us a place of abode. So we all need to give back to Fako, which for the resources, especially the human resources that it has produced. So that's my little story, the Light Up Fako project.
And a delightful story it is, and one that makes a lot of sense, because we all come from somewhere, but then depends on where you're actually living. So you cannot sit and say, I can go ahead and stay in darkness here, but I come from some other place which has lights. Doesn't make much sense. NYOKI, what about you? What is it you do within the scope of this project?
Well, actually, Auntie EGBE, thanks for the question. And thank you, Iaweli, for such an elaborate explanation as to how you got in. I do have a similar part in, but I will tell my story as it stands. Mola BECKE, about a year ago or a year and a half ago, embarked on donating lights to Great Support, where he comes from, his village. And that was well, publicized, and I was really, excited when I saw that, and I got carried away, and I'm like, boy, this is, something that we should expand on. Being who he is, he called me and he said to me, "MOLA-NYOKI, I'm trying to do something, and you are one of my, my strong supporters. What do you think about it?" And I'm like, "Okay, what are you thinking?" And he said, "Solar lights for, for Boya." That's what he said. He said, I've given out voluntarily some lights. I'll be humbled to offer you lights for Bokwango. That's what he said. I'm like, wow. You mean you're going to give us some lights too? And he said, yes, I am willing to, to donate some lights to Bokwango. And I'm like, fine. So I went ahead and called around Bokwango to see where strategically we can install 2 lights.
Mm-hmm.
I got back to him and he said, "Mola, you know what? I'm going to increase the amount to 4. And I'm like, wow, just like that? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, let me make a little donation. He said, fine. So I made a little donation, which was insignificant as compared to how many lights he offered me. So I am actually a beneficiary of his generosity. Okay. I am a beneficiary of his ingenuity. Things like that gave me the motivation to say, you know what, I have to at least give my service to the community through him. And with that, that's where we are today. I got, called in to be the fundraising coordinator. Mm-hmm. And I was appointed to it, and that's where I'm at today. I sleep, I would, light up Fako, and I get up with it, and I'm just very humbled to be part of this, this initiative. Thank you.
And I can attest to the fact, because I see that those little lists every day, adding names to it and how much they donated, who was paid what, and who has done what. And we're going to go deeper into this because you already mentioned Bokwango. That's a different. He said great support. You mentioned Bokwango, and I can tell where it's going. But we'll just let's follow and ask NDOKO to tell us what his part in this whole setup is.
Yes, thank you, EGBE. My role in this is very simple. I will start from when I knew Mola BECKE. He's a simple, kind, and gentle man. We've all known him here in the United States from, I will say, 2004 when he was a cultural director for Fako America. And he used to be in Maryland, then moved to Dallas. And he has a good heart. We've all made some mistakes in our lives as we are growing up. He has his own share, but he's turned around and he's doing what nobody can blame him anymore for. This Light Up Fako thing came as a joke. I thought he was kidding, but after talking with him intensively, I realized that he's really into it. He knows what he's trying to do. He means business, and went to Cameroon, did 17 villages. And he called me and said, "Hey, NDOKO, I'm right here. Do you need a light at the NDOKO's estate?" I'm like, "Well, Mola, deal with the people who are really in need." He says, "No, Mola, let me just do even one at your estate." I'm like, "Okay, go for it." And he did. And so I'm also a beneficiary of his light. And when he came back to the US, we've been talking, and I look at the beautiful people he has on his panel. I'm like, they are good people. So I said, okay, let me jump into this. Together we can change Fako. An individual cannot do it. It's only a couple of trees that will make a forest. One tree can make a forest.
Right.
So that's how I came into it.
Right. Interesting stories are very unique. Each person unique, but each person crucial to the whole process. Because as they say, together you can do much more than for only one person. If only one person had to walk that walk by himself. So I'm glad you're there to support him. So you actually mentioned the number 17. I don't know that anybody can actually list all 17 villages or towns that are targeted, that are beneficiaries so far. Does anybody have a list? Does anybody know? I know already. I heard him say great support. I heard Bokwango. I heard the NDOKO estate. So where else does this happen so far?
So we have actually done great support, small support, Wobila, Woteke, Wonganga, Bokwango, Likoko, Bokwai, Bonjongo. We've done Likoko in small support. We've done Woduma, Bokoko. We've done some parts in Munya. We've done Likombe, Basa, all those, and so many other areas that we've done that I cannot name for now. But it's very interesting because I want to say thank you to Welly. I want to use this opportunity because when we had that conversation, when we're having that lunch, and she told me that this is not something that you can stay quiet. We need to make this happen. And I was thinking, I used to plan joke with her, and I said, you brought me into this because I said, oh, maybe I'm done for now, and maybe we can continue later. And she gave me exactly how we can go about it. And once I went to Cameroon, she had already laid down the structure on how we need to work about it. And I spoke to NYOKI and I spoke to NDOKO. These are two gentlemen that I respect a lot, you know, and I got some advice from them. And I said, they told me, go ahead. There's nothing to be afraid. And I want to make people to understand, this is not light of Bakwere. This is light of Fako. Fako is the most, diverse division now in Cameroon.
Yes.
And we are not lighting up Bakwere people, we are lighting up Fako division, because in Fako, we have people with all sorts of careers. We have businessmen, we have people who have developed their self in Fako, people who were born in Fako, people who were educated in Fako. So we all need to make Fako safe before we extend to other areas. And when I finally went back to Cameroon and I saw that it doesn't only bring light, it brings unity among people in the community, because light bring unity and happiness. So it's very important for people to understand that this is not a light of Bakwere issue. It is a light of Fako issue. So Welly is here not because she is a Bakwere. She is a Fako because she has schooled in Fako. She has other things that she's doing in Fako, you know. So I'm encouraging everybody to be part of it. If you believe that you own a property, if you believe that you have a relative in Fako, the idea is just to buy one lamp, just one lamp.
And that's where, let me just jump right in there and ask you, what is it? So what does how much do if somebody's listening to us now and wants to jump right in and say, this is a brilliant project, I'd like to participate, how can they do that? What's the cost of one solar lamp? And how long would you expect it to last? When you do that donation and you give the one lamp, do you now say, I'm done and that's it, and you can sit easy, sit tight?
No, the one lamp is just, let's say, the minimum, right? You can donate more. And one lamp, including the poles, as we are talking to the producer, because we're going to have customized lamps, it includes the pole. When I went back to Cameroon, I had a conversation with the mayor, and he advised that we should include everything with the poles so that it gives the uniform, that everything, you know, so we including the poles and the lamp is 50,000 CFA. It can negotiate, it can be up, but not that much. But right now, the baseline is 50,000, including the poles, the installation, and it will last from 3 to 4 years for the duration. So, and we are setting place. I know people will be worried, like, how is the maintenance going? How is maintenance? We are also asking every village in Fako to give us 2 people that will be trained by Pan-African Institute. We're signing an MOU with Pan-African Institute and the Ministry of Urban Development to train 2 people from each village that will take care of the maintenance of the lamp. So we are doing 3 things at the same time. We bring in light that will reduce safety. We're training people that will give them jobs, employment, and then we bring in unity, because a community development like this is going to be catered for by the community, and the community cannot do something together when they are not united.
Right. And once you've done what you've done there now already, nobody wants to go back to darkness.
Yes.
Nobody wants to go back to darkness after you've experienced this, and which leads me to ask the question. I think the question's answer is obvious, but let me ask it for asking's sake. How has the population reacted to this? What is their feeling? How have they reacted to this? These villages you called, these areas you called, what has been the response from the population so far?
Let me take that. Let me
Yeah.
take that, if I may. I will start by saying that growing up in Boya, back, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, electricity, lights was kind of limited to GRA, to government offices, government establishments, a few lights like roundabout in Boya, police station, towards Boya town and stuff like that. Darkness, in the 20th century should not be accepted. I remember walking around like a young man, coming back from Boya town. We used to go, enjoy ourselves in Boya town, summer festival, whatsoever. And on our way back to Bokwango, I live right past the radio station. You can hear somebody, you could be able to hear somebody walking towards you, whistling, and don't worry about it.
Right.
Now, who will walk outside in Boya today knowing that somebody was whistling towards them in the dark and not be scared? So those are some of the things that motivated me to get onto this. I go to Cameroon every so often, and at 8 o'clock I am home. I cannot stand the darkness. Honestly, maybe because of age, my eyes can't adjust to darkness anymore. Lighting is limited within the house, and that's it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
After I got this light installed in Bokwango, donated by Dr. MOLUA, I call back every so often to find out how the lights are doing. And all the people keep saying is, Mola, those lights are the only lights that are, you can see when a nail takes away power.
Correct.
The same like my junior sister who has 1 or 2 at her house in Limbe. She mentions the fact that every time it goes dark, that whole area, everybody knows because there's only those 2 lights that are on. Now, how can you fail with a light that would cost 100,000 francs? If I'm right, 50,000 francs, that would last 3 years, as opposed to staying in the dark for God alone knows how long.
Right.
So those are the feedbacks we get, and when we get feedbacks like that, it motivates us to do more. Me personally.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And now that you mentioned that, I think I should go ahead and share my screen and try to show what a couple of those lights. Let me see. Come over here and hit the share button real quick so we can see exactly what he's talking about. Like right here. Am I sharing my screen?
Yep.
Yes, you are.
So that's the pole right there, and that's the light right there. And the surrounding areas right there are lit, so people can actually see. Let me go over this way and find another one. Here's another area. What street is this?
I think
that is great support.
That's great support. That's the street in great support.
Right, right. Because you see, this is Boya, as Mula BECKE was saying. This is Boya. Boya is not really a Bakweri town at all anymore. It has a whole big old university there. It has a couple of universities that I know of. There's the BECKE University as well there, which means people come to go to school there from everywhere. So when it's not only a Bakweri thing like he's saying, it's something that definitely benefits people. I see another one here that is lighting up the area. I see 2 actually right there lighting up this area. So I can imagine that the population, I see people sitting out here having themselves a good old time, which I don't think they would have been doing had there not been light for them to actually see. Let me stop my share for now. So this, he clearly said he gave some of the lights, donated them out of his own pocket, out of the goodness of his heart. And you have done so, but if other people do want to now do the same, we've learned what the cost is, we've learned how long the durability of it. So how does somebody donate? How does somebody donate? How are you planning on raising the funds to keep this going? Because this is Boya so far, but there are many more villages, even in the Boya area itself, to talk much less of the rest of Fako, which you cannot expect one individual to donate lights to all of those places. So how is this going to happen?
Yeah, EGBE, let me jump in with that. In terms of the donation, it's kind of pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
He did the first fundraising in April 22nd in Boya,
okay,
which I would say was a successful fundraiser. You had a lot of dignitaries from Senator Mbelamoki, Madame Dorothy Joma, and a few others who were present at that inaugural fundraiser. And right now it's moving down to your ocean city of Limbe. These donations is very simple. There is a name and a phone number which are on flyers which go around. So once these donations have been done, there is Momo, and I think there is Orange Mobile Money and Momo MTN. Then here in North America, we have Molastin NYOKI and Elivelikini, who are also running the fund drive. But this whole thing, again, is not something that people have to feel that they have to buy lights as individuals.
Right.
Based on what I do with people who are around my area in Boya that I live, I've been telling them that 2-3 houses could put funds together, get one light that you put it strategically, which will cover those 4 houses. So it's not something that some people will be able to afford 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 lights. Some will be able to afford just one. So those donations channels are always being posted out on several forums. And again, based on the fundraiser that was done in Boya, there is a list that MOLUA BECKE is going to be posting out consistently for those who have paid their pledges, those who haven't met up with their pledges. It's just a reminder, a friendly reminder for people to continue making their donations, and for those who are yet to do so, to do that. And to answer your question, it's very simple. The donations will be posted out on the internet superhighway on a consistent basis so that they get the information on how they can make their donations. And he is all about transparency. Whoever donates a dime, you will know that this is what you've donated. And it will be posted out for everybody to see.
See, that's a good thing. And if I'm not mistaken, there is a website, right? There is a website where if somebody now is not in the Fako forum, where they happen to see the list that he's updating, there is a website. I think I checked on the thing. It is lightupfako.org.
Yes.
Yes.
You go to the website, and I think it says right there, there's a donate button right there. For those of us who are here and not necessarily are doing Zelle or Cash App, where a number of people out here in the States use plastic. That's
Exactly.
that's the good part of the whole thing. We're not going to put yourself on about fiscal responsibility and stuff. There's sometimes when you're like, you wish to donate, you may not necessarily have the cash, but you do have the credit card. So even for those, please go to the website. It's I checked on it the other day myself, lightupfako, one word.org. And I went there, there's a big old site that says donate. Click on the thing and you can make a donation. And as we have said, it does not mean that you must be from Fako to do the donation. Actually living there, you don't even have to be from the country of Cameroon at all. So I know that this show is watched, it's going to be on YouTube in a few. So people are going to be able to just watch it, and you feel moved to donate. Why not? And people who live outside of Fako but have family there, whatever your ties are to the area, you can go ahead and donate so that this can actually spread. So how with the, let's talk about the implementation. Sorry.
We have a Facebook page also that has the different payment methods. So if anybody can go to our Facebook page, Light Up Fako, you can get details on how you can donate from any part of the world. And just to follow up on what NDOKO was saying, we are trying to use a participatory approach for the fundraiser where people just need to buy the lamps for their homes. You don't need to even give us the money. You can just get the solar lamps and put them in your house, and that is as simple as it is. You can get it from MOLUA BECKE. So his number is on the Facebook page and on the website. And also we have a fundraiser coming up on the 17th of June, which we are seizing the opportunity to invite everyone to join us in Limbe for the Limbe Grand Fundraiser. And of course, we're going to continue with the online fundraiser, the in-person fundraiser. And we are working in partnership with some major structures to be able to have a partnership where we can raise money and do the project together with some parastatals and some state institutions.
Brilliant idea. Brilliant idea. Yep. To go ahead and spread. Because we'll ask the people the businessmen and people who actually are their own schools, clubs, and all kinds of things there, hotels and stuff would naturally be interested. And it would be a good thing to rope them in. You mentioned, even before talking about the Limbe one, which is coming up, I think it's NDOKO who mentioned the Boya one, and I think I have a few pictures from that ceremony. Let me go to find that. I'll go back to the album I was sharing because I put the collection together. Let's see. Okay, right here, if I'm sharing my screen, what's going on there? Who's going to tell us what's going on in this particular picture? Can you see it? Am I sharing my screen?
Yes, I think right there, that's Dr. MOLUA Smith BECKE. He's been interviewed by journalists after the fundraiser, or maybe during the fundraiser. Mola, you could add some more light onto that.
Yeah, right there, that's me being interviewed after the fundraising event by some major network of journalists in Cameroon.
All right, you explain to them. So, and I noticed that on this backdrop right here, I see it says WELISANE Foundation right there. That is WELISANE's thing. Please jump right in and do your plug real quick.
And of course, WELISANE Foundation is about the empowerment of the woman and the girl child. So we know that women bear the brunt. If when there's no electricity, we are the ones who are going to suffer. So because of the vulnerabilities that we face, we're going to get raped. We're going to face many other societal ills. So we are actually partnering with the Light Up Fako project so that we can be able to give women light and let them be the light too.
Correct, because they are the ones that are even with the children going to school, they're the ones that are going to sit down there and tell the children, go do your homework. To do that homework, you need to have lights. It's as opposed to having the Aladdin lamp and the Tukang running. I mean, in this day and age, Aladdin lamp really doesn't work. And I see even ES Angels right there, which is Pauline Litumbe Hill's project that she does. I can see so people can partner. I'm showing this so people can realize that they can partner. You have your own foundation and something partner and help push the project forward. And I think that's MOLUA BECKE making a speech at the same occasion right there. And if I move on, what's going on here? Who's this gentleman right here with you in the
Yeah, that's Senator Mbelamoki. That was also being interviewed, making his donation during the fundraising event. He is a very strong supporter of the IDS. Now, if having this fundraising event, we had so many. I mean, I was very amazed. Even from Boya to Yaoundé, the support that we have from political leaders and even individuals, even people who are not in Fako, from the ministry and everybody, they were very excited to see how this thing is going to move forward. Again, just like NDOKO and NYOKI said, it's not about MOLUA BECKE. No, it's about Fako. Subsequently, it's also about Cameroon. Because if we do this to Cameroon, other people from other divisions and other regions will emulate what we are doing in Fako. Yeah, so we will have, Fako is like a light. They say city built on top of a mountain, we always shine. So Fako is like a light. So we want to set an example so that other communities we follow on. So, you know, WELISANE from Meme will actually move to that area also because she is part of it. So we are trying to do something that will make everybody happy.
That's
so you can see right there, that's a Honorable Maloba and the Mayor of Boya, Barrister Mafani Namanga, and Barrister Ganja Shedi, who is now the fundraising chairman. You can see Honorable Becky Ifue, and and then you can see Dr. Absolute Monono, who is the SGO of Bafia area, and the former parliamentarian Honorable Etoke, and the Prime Minister's representative, Chief Blessed Koi.
Is that who's speaking right here?
No, behind Dr. Absolute.
Okay.
The person who are holding the microphone is one of the members of Light of Fako. He was the MC, Barrister Watersin Luma.
Okay.
Yes.
This is fantastic. I see it says at the back there, Light of Fako project, April 22nd. So this is not too long ago that this happened. And I see it says Boya Council Hall is where the thing is happening and everything. Do we know where it is going to be, where in Limbe where the Limbe one is going to take place? Do we? know the venue yet?
Yeah, the Limbe one is going to be the Limbe City Council Hall.
Okay.
And also we are thankful to the mayor who is also partnering with us for the Grand Limbe fundraiser. So it's going to be City Council Hall, and that's on the 17th of June at 3:30 p.m.
There you go. And on this one, I can see you right there. There you are standing there with the basket right here. And I know that the baskets were not there for people to come and put oranges in them. I'm sure it was when put their pledges and stuff. I see Sister Elsie or Ifange right there. I see some envelopes in her hand right there. So I'm showing this for the benefit of the Limbe people. They should know that this is coming their way pretty soon. So the idea is for them to get up and do likewise. This is the kind of time where you can even do healthy competition. Let's see what was raised over in Buea. Can you do better than what Buea did? So
absolutely.
That would be an awesome thing. So I wanted to just show the pictures. Look, that is a full hall right there of people who came in, who responded to the call. So I'm trying to show people that it wasn't talking about something that is some lackluster kind of thing. Well, there are two of you right there. That's MOLUA, and that is WELISANE right there as well. And so it looks like it was a very, very successful event. There are a few more photos. It looks like it was a very successful event. And as they've said, it's coming to Limbe. What is the date again for the Limbe event?
17th of June, 2023.
That's
a couple of
the corner.
Yes, it's right around the corner. So we are right on time, right on target with this. So people know that exactly. Please go on. Willie, you're going to say something.
Yeah, I'll say exactly 2 weeks from today. So we have just 14 days to the Limbe fundraiser, and we are bracing up seriously for that.
For that, okay. So that the Limbe, the in-person, if you can be there in person, that'd be awesome. If you cannot, you've heard about the other ways to donate. So is this, I guess, I think I was made to understand that this whole project is taking place in phases. Are the phases now according to the areas where these launchings would be? Like is the Buea phase, the Limbe phase? What is the whole deal with the different phases of the thing? Are there phases for launching, phases for implementation, phases for how is it exactly going to work out?
No, so we're going to have phases. So the first phase, while we are working on with the production company to produce the lamps, we're also trying to work with the villages to get people trained that will help install the lamps. And once we get that ready, our anticipation is that we get these lamps between the end of November or the beginning of December in Cameroon, so we can start installation. But we are looking at starting with those villages that doesn't even have a nail. So before coming to the town, we look at those villages that does not even have light, and we start installation there. We'll go from MONJIMBO area, court area, and then we can go down to the Limbe area. We can go, then we take the Bonavada area, then we go to the Tico and Mongo. Then we look at the areas that are still lacking. We have people on the ground that are doing the feasibility studies and on how we're going to implement that. So if we can have those people to be trained, that number will help us to start a fast installation as soon as the lamps gets to Cameroon.
Okay, so the lamps come to Cameroon from outside of the country, then they have people there ready and able and willing to set them up. Yes. And then so they can benefit, and it makes a lot of sense to do it the way you're talking about it, as opposed to the people who already kind of have light. It's only when NEO cuts the thing or doesn't supply that these are like backup for them. Whereas the places where there's no NEO to start with, there is nothing to start with. They need more urgently than the people who at least have something and can even afford to get a generator, because there's people who have generators and things, whereas the others who really, if you don't do what you're doing, have absolutely nothing. And that isn't the best thing. I don't know. I don't think it's as foggy these days as it used to be back in my day in Buea. I see standing up there, you drop at Brigade, you don't see it. You have to have a flashlight.
That's right.
Yep.
Then
that's when Buea used to be Buea.
then you just have to have a plastic bag to put your precious shoes in it because the stones and rocks
I'm going to mess it up. Yep.
to mess it up. And if you cannot even see to start with, I don't know how you're even going to get to where you're trying to go to. So with lights, at least it definitely helps to sidestep the puddles, sidestep the stones, the rocks, let me call it what it is, the rocks, and be able to make your way. So this is a very, very good project.
Right.
So we've talked about people who are going to be trained, so they are going to take care of the maintenance and the sustainability issue. What have the challenges been? Because you don't embark on a thing like this and then it's all smooth sailing. Nothing goes wrong. Everything is perfect and wonderful. What have the challenges been so far?
Well, in terms of the challenges, I think a few of them have come up. But once you have prepared yourself to take a project of this caliber, you are kind of constantly thinking of ways and means to make sure it moves forward. Like doing the fundraiser in Boya. Boya will not only cover the Bokwango, Wasa, Sopo, Wondongo, and all those close areas in Boya. It goes further to places like Bova, Mete. When you go down to like Limbe, it's not only going to be Limbe, it goes all the way to Idenown. He's trying to expand it so that it touches everybody. And by touching everybody means it's a project that everybody should come on board. Light is not for one person. Light is for the entire community. Light is to make our communities grow. Light is to make our children, our parents, our sisters, aunts, uncles, to be able to move from one house to the next house. We have these Sunday tribal meetings that people go to different locations. You want for people to travel with ease from one location to the other without any problem. So some of the challenges that are being faced is not anything different from the normal ups and downs that we have to consistently be informing people about. Light up Fako. That way people should come on board. Having more people come on board is the main challenge. Now, he also has this issue of trying to figure out the places that are really needy. And he's working with the local chiefs and community leaders. That way they can identify the places that are of much needed help. That way he starts with those people and then be expanding to the less needy. And they don't really determine the area where he goes to, but he is working with them as the eyes on the ground, the ears on the ground, tell me what it is. And he works with his panel to make sure that, okay, Mete is a place that really needs this light. It's so needy in it, and he makes sure that Mete gets the light. So that's what he's trying to do. Over to you, Mola NYOKI.
No, Mola, you covered most of it. I mean, because those challenges are like our everyday challenge. And reaching out to people who have never actually had to deal with, lighting, like the areas that don't even have a NEO in the first place. You have to convince, these people that, hey, this product is very durable. It's very, it will save, insecurity, like Dr. MOLUA, initially said, and just peace of mind moving from one spot of the village to the other spot. So those are the challenges. I mean, convincing some of those villagers, to see the need for that. They've lived in darkness for so long, as we all know. Like I said, in the 20th century, in the 20th century, we should not be living in any kind of darkness, but the choices are ours to make, and the choices are those villages, for those villages to make. They want to stay in darkness, or they actually want to have light, so.
Right. Any other challenges that anybody can think of? If that, I'll go on to I think if I asked what has been the most gratifying thing, the thing that has made you the happiest, and I think I want to take each person one by one and for you to say what it is that has really touched you the most in the way this has been implemented so far, and what your hopes and aspirations are for the future of the project. Let us go ahead and start right back with Mola NYOKI and come right back around. What has been the best thing that has happened for you in this whole process?
Well, Antigua, for those who don't know me, or for those who know me, would attest to the fact that I am a community person. I like to involve myself with initiatives that have a lot to do with changing our narrative. Helping somebody move from one spot to another, and those are the things that actually attracted me to this project. Just like I said, when I went back to Cameroon a couple of times, I realized how people walk in the dark. You have to get up very early in the morning. As soon as the lights come on, you want to get up and do things really fast because when it gets dark, you won't be able to do them anymore. Right. So those were my motivations. And like I said, I'm just a community person. I want to see the narrative change within our people. And changing one item at a time. I know Boya has water problem, we have electricity problem. What other problems don't we have? We have bad roads, we have bad schools, but let's start with one thing that we all as a community can actually embark on. So, that's my motivation.
Good. Mulanduko, what about you? What has been the thing that has made you the most pleased with this project?
What has really pleased me with the project is the enthusiasm that I've seen people talking about it, joining it. I make several calls, and the response that I get from people, it gives me that joy that, okay, this is not something that is just a few people who are interested in making it happen. Mm-hmm. And most of all, I won't tell you a lie. The guys in the ground, Weli, Njoku, Annabelle,
yep.
The work they are doing on the ground, we cannot pretend as if we're not seeing what they are doing. Yeah. They are doing their very best to galvanize people, to bring the awareness of Light Up Fako and to expand it outside of Fako. So that is a joy that I see on a daily basis. That gives me the courage to continue to support this project. It's not something that we could sit and minimize. It's something that we have to really give them a big, huge round of applause for the work they are doing. Yes. And when Mola was in Cameroon, he could attest to it that without them, he could not have gone as far as he has gone. With them, by him, seeing what they are doing, what they are putting on the table. Even on that day of that occasion, you could see Weli, when the camera is on her, she's pointing her fingers. Hey, hey, you could tell that she's trying to organize, make it happen. And again, I thank the Secretaries because they know how to bring up the good breeds.
There you go. I didn't want to say anything, but because now you actually go ahead and said it out loud there. Well, yes. Secretary, in those pictures that we're looking at right there, Sister Elsingo Wefange is a secretary. So is Sister BECKE, secretary. So of the few ladies that we saw there we are, always forever shining. They say brighten the corner where you are. That's exactly what they're doing. That's what we're raised to do. Go on, right. WELISANE. What has been the most gratifying thing for you so far? What have you?
I mean,
go ahead.
Thank you very much, EGBE. For me, it has been about serving, and I just believe that God put me and Dr. MOLUA BECKE together along the path so that we can come together and mobilize all the other stakeholders to be able to do this. And I really like the fact that we are not, we're not super people doing this. We're just ordinary people coming together with our little ideas and making this happen. It's an adrenaline rushing. Sometimes we are, trying to make things happen, but we have challenges like we have already mentioned, and we see ourselves as if we're going to fail if we don't nail it like yesterday. But so just being able to contribute to nation building, contribute to community building is gratifying for me, and just being able to give back to Fako. Fako gave us education, gave us spouses, gave us a place to stay. And so that's a list that we can actually do. I say it over and over again. And people ask me, why can you not go and light up Ndian or Meme? I say, no. I mean, Ndian will be, if Fako is lit, Ndian is going to be lit, Meme is going to be lit. And if you see your brother struggling to get water from a well, you have to support, because when you fill their brother's bucket, yours also is going to be the next one that's going to be filled. So I just feel that we need to serve. And my mantra is, we have not lived until we have done something for someone who can never repay us. So we need to get into those communities, light up those villages, and make people happy. Just seeing people happy is rewarding, and that's why I'm part of this.
Perfect, perfect. And MOLUA Smith BECKE himself, what has been the most gratifying thing for you?
Thank you very much, Auntie. So when I went to Cameroon at December of last year, I took some time to go down to MONJIMBO. And what even gave me the hope and more energy to keep going, as a child, I struggled to make myself through coming to America. And I walked from great support because I was determined, hoping, and I had faith that I must make it. Great support, walking through Tico Duara Road until a friend picked me up to go to the embassy. And I got my visa to come to America. But coming back, what made me keep giving me energy is the little kid that I met in Bonjongo studying under this light that was installed by Light of Fako. And they had about 10 of them studying under this light. And it gave me joy to feel that people that you've helped are actually benefiting from light without reading under like bush lamp. They gather together and read under this lamp. So you can tell that a lot of people, even in Likombe, Mbasa, other villages, Wonganjo, they need their kids that cannot afford to study because there's no light. But even if you have light outside their door, they can study there with somebody supervising them. Most, of course, people like Njoku, Annabelle, and the other team members, Ida and Mulapido, when I went to Cameroon, the support that I got from this individual, if I have to travel to Yaoundé 30 times a day, a week, I will go with these young people, not even older people. For Annabelle, who is not even in Fako, is not from Fako, she's not from Fako, she's from Northwest Province, but she has put all her energy. There's not a single day that I will call her to assign her talking about Light of Fako and she's not going to give me a response. There's not a single day that I will step my foot in Yaoundé. It made it easy for me, even when Welly was not around. She had already set up everything by Welly's instruction to show me wherever I need to go, whoever I need to see, how I need to do it. I don't know Yaoundé that much. She was there. So if you see somebody from the Northwest that was not even born in Fako, that has never been in Fako, but supporting this cause because she needs to know that some people who needs help can benefit from this. So it gives me a lot of joy and it gives me the energy to keep moving. That we all need to come together and support a cause like this. We need to keep waiting. We need to stop waiting for the government. I made a quote by J.F. Kennedy from my speech. Ask not what the government can do for you, but ask what you can do for your government. Right. And that is what I want people to start thinking, because the government will never do it. We and we alone can make it happen. Right. So that's what keeps me going.
That's fantastic. You've summed up a lot. There are so many lessons to learn from this whole project. Besides the project itself and the fact that it is bringing light, that part of it, the clear, visible for everybody to see part of it, and then the deeper underlying lessons about learning to work together. Because most of the time we hear about quarrels, quarrel, things, people are splitting, disagreeing in court over things, in court over this and that. It is just refreshing to see a group of people who didn't ask, okay, what is in it for me? What part of the country is he from? Why is it going to be that kind of disarray that you see, disagreement, all kinds of issues that tend to be the norm that we see, doesn't seem to be the case in this one. And then you're moving forward, the challenges are there, but you're not letting them stop you. You're seeing dedication. And I'm hoping, really praying that this will just, there'll be a ripple effect. We'll go ahead and do likewise for water, for education, for health, things like that to learn, like you just said, that it's not that you're going to sit and wait for the government. The government is not, because people keep on talking about the government, like who exactly is the government that you're going to actually catch this person and call him the government. So when he doesn't do it, then you can hold him and say, this is the government that is going to, you are the one sitting there with no light. They're waiting for the government. The government couldn't be bothered. I shouldn't quite put it like that, but it's not the government's problem if you're not sitting down and able to read. So if you can do something to help your own self, you do it. If you can partner with somebody, that's what you do. So it's a very, very, I want to applaud you all. A very refreshing thing to see. And not somebody sitting there and saying, I will not be like the Annabelle person you called. And what's it concern me for okra soup, as they say? Am I from this place? Why am I doing the thing? And I won't be surprised if some people are asking her, what are you doing there helping these people? Have you seen your own place over here? Like WELISANE said, we have to start somewhere and do something for somebody. And in the end, if you help a person is a person. They help their family gets better. That family to have educated will end up having their own children down the road. They help their own too. That's how some of us are able to even sit here. Our parents did what they could. And then now we are trying to do the same for our own children, and it continues going down. And if you're like Dr. Mula over there, who said he had to go through this, but then his children now, guess what? The cycle has stopped. His children now don't have to trek to anywhere. They have their own education. Then they will go ahead to undo, and that's how to change the world and make it a better place, as opposed to sitting there waiting for somebody somewhere to wave a magic wand and things are going to happen. So, yep, if I want to thank you all for taking the time to come here and share this. We're going to make sure that we push it. I'm going to go ahead and get my own lamps, put somewhere wherever it is that it is necessary to go, so that I'm not the person who's sitting down there and making a noise and not walking the talk. Yes, to make sure that it gets done. And I'm appealing to everybody listening. If you cannot make it to Limbe, like we've said, there is your Facebook. Please go find Light Up Fako, the Facebook page. Get online, the same cell phone you're using to watch this or listen to this. It's what you can use to now go and find the website and find ways to get involved. As they say, we are here, we're just passing by. Don't make it only about you, make it about somebody else. Because as they say, when we are not here tomorrow, you will only be remembered by what you have done. Not for your own self necessarily, but what you've done to make your community, just make the world a better, in this case, brighter place.
Exactly.
Literally a better, brighter place for yourself and for somebody else. So if anybody has a last word to add, this is the time to do it.
Yes, let me add this on. We have this naysayers. The naysayers.
Okay. Yes.
The thing here is, if they are saying that the project is ambitious, it is unrealistic. There are 17 villages that proves otherwise. However, if they mean that the project is grandiose and hope to achieve unprecedented results, then we agree with them. We want to change the face of the villages, and we will not hold back. We will only educate those who are still sitting on the fence to join in this movement. That way, by the end of, let's say, 2025, 2026, we will see the difference in Fako, and then we'll be moving to the other regions, Meme, Ndian, and all the other places that we could think of. We have to do it. We cannot sit and wait for the government. We can only ask what we can do for ourselves, rather than asking what the government can do for us. The time for that is over. Now is the time for us to do what we know is best for us as members within our communities.
Correct, correct. The time of you remember is it the 4-year, 5-year development plan? Baba Ayijo will say.
Yes, yes.
So you sit and you wait for them to go and build the airport. That once in how many years again before you turn around and come back to your turn?
Exactly.
You'll be living in dark ages forever.
Yes, so, we just have to move on. Yes, and also, one last thing, like BECKE stated, These lights do not live forever. They have a lifespan. It doesn't mean you install it today, maybe 6 months later, it might have an issue. If it have an issue, you call. There will be people who will be able to answer your call and follow up with that light. Communities should be able to take that responsibility. The light has been installed. They will need to clean those lights. They will need to change the batteries. The weather out here in the US or in Asia or other African countries is not the same as Fako.
Right.
So climate might also cause some issues. Once the light has been installed, it could last for 3 to about 4 or 5 years, but it will eventually go off. So the community should be ready that at any given time that it goes off, they should know what to do to replace it.
Correct.
A bulb that goes off in our individual houses, we are not going to call somebody to come and change the light bulb in your house. The initial step has been done. Here it is. Light has been put on the street. Enjoy it, but know that if it is going bad, community leaders, quarter heads, teachers, help your community, get another light, put it in there so that we continue to replicate what has already been started.
Makes sense. Makes sense. NYOKI was going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to quick say, add this on. I've had people who have had concerns with, is the money going to go to where, who is keeping the money, blah, blah, blah. Just like you said, on our website, we have all the financial, information. There is an account, for this initiative, through the credit union, the credit union that's in Boya. So the money doesn't go to Dr. Smith Becke's pocket and, start being divided. I just need to get that straight out. People don't know that, we have a structure, we have a board, we have committees that are, charged with doing all, this work. So it is not a one-person thing, like NDOKO initially said, the people who are on the ground, they've done such a fantastic job. We don't need to emphasize that any much more than we've already heard. But, we have a lot of foot soldiers who have dedicated their time, without any pay to get this, this initiative to where it is going to be, down the line. Thank you.
Perfect. Anything else? Any reminder?
I just want to seize this opportunity to give out the numbers because I don't know who's going to be watching this.
Yeah.
So for the mobile money numbers, for mobile money, we have 670-504-348. 670-504-348. And for orange money, we have 658-594-798. 658-594-798. That's for orange money. The name of the account is either Namondo J. Now, for the Zelle account is 612, that's for those in the US, 612-987-1134. 612-987-1134. And that's the same account that you're using for Cash App. So we do not want to waste the opportunity to actually communicate these numbers immediately. So please donate with every franc to make this happen. And like Red Sing, it only takes a spark to get the fire going. We need everyone to come to this fire and to have that ripple effect like EGBE has said. So please join the bandwagon and let's make it happen for Fako, for Southwest region and Cameroon.
And beyond, because as you said, for that region and beyond, thank you for giving us those numbers. I tried to copy them down as you said them. Zelle and Cash App, you said is the same number, 612-987-1134, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And then for orange, I caught the orange one, it was 658-594-798. Is that correct? Someone can do so. I can have them written down here. And because this is going to end up being on YouTube, when you get to, if it's the radio, you say, okay, well, I didn't catch it. YouTube, just hit the rewind button, go back, you didn't hear, go back and rewind and listen to it again. and you get the numbers and you can actually do what it is that you need to do and move things forward. I cannot thank you enough. Let us give Dr. MOLUA Smith BECKE the chance to round this up.
Yeah, Auntie, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to share the views about Light of Fako and to invite people who may not know that this is about Fako and beyond Fako to join the train. And I also want to thank NDOKO, NYOKI, and WELISANE for being part of this and for being my support pillar. You know, it's very difficult. It's easy to bring up a vision, but it's very difficult to convince people to be part of the vision. They have been part of my vision. They believe in it, and they are working very hard to explain to people what is the importance to be part of this, because we need to reduce insecurity in Fako, not only Fako. And I want to also thank the members, the rest of the members of the board and the members of other committee that we work every day and night to make this happen. And all the donors, those who have pledged and yet to give, we expect that they will give. Those who have already donated, we appreciate everybody, both physically and financially. We want to appreciate you guys, and our doors are open for any questions. We will be very, very transparent in every activities that we do to let the public know what we are doing, because this is a public venture. It's not about BECKE, NYOKI, NDOKO, or WELISANE. I also want to use this opportunity to thank my brothers. I come from a household of 4 brothers, and they are very supportive of everything that I do. You know, so I want to take this opportunity to thank them very much, and my wife, to give me that opportunity to travel whenever I want to travel to follow up the activities of Light of Fako. So thank you again very much, and let's make this happen so we can move on to another division, and why not another region, to make Cameroon safe.
You couldn't have put it any better. The only person I can imagine, the only people I can imagine not happy about this would be people who made a living out of stealing and pickpocketing. Now the light has come, you cannot go break into somebody's house anymore. Because that's the only person I can think of who should be upset that they're bringing light to somewhere. If not, what can you possibly have against a project like this one that is there to bring improvements, to bring developments to an area, which is hard to do if you're not electrified, if you're not, well, let me not use the term electrified, I'm talking about solar energy. If there is no light there. I remember back in the day, Late Ekambi Brian actually made a whole song, Moyen Moi Solaire. He was singing about solar back in the day. It was a big deal. You have to make a whole record out of it, because it's something. I'm the daughter of somebody who was a PowerCam general manager back in the day. So I know about light. Getting the thing from NYOKI right there in the thing to get in Moyuka.
Yeah.
So we are now light years in the 21st century. Nobody should be left behind. So thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We're a grateful population saying thank you for having the courage to not just dream it, but make it come to and then to keep going, no matter if there are people who are skeptical. This is how you win them over to your side, because you keep going and you show them palpable results that nobody can dispute the way you have done. So thank you, gentlemen and lady, for coming to be on this show today and telling us all you know about the Light of Fako initiative and Light of Fako project. And I'm trusting that people who have listened and watched will go ahead and do what they need to do to make sure that this moves forward. All right then, so to close up, this has been MBIWAN MONJIMBO, a special edition of the Musings and Music Show. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and please go on out there and do the right thing.